Okay, folks, when you log on for the first time in Eagle Online, this is the page that you'll see. You'll see a document which is titled How to Access Your APlia course. Remember, in this mini-term, we're only using Eagle Online as a mere communicating mechanism. All of the content, 100% of the content, is conducted in APlia. So what you have to do is visit cengagebrain.com or http://login.cengagebrain.com. If you already have an account, for example, if you've taken an economics course from me before or from another professor where APlia has been used, you don't need to worry about it. You just go to your dashboard and you enter your course key, this course key that you see right here that I've just highlighted in the box provided, and you simply click the register button. If you don't have an account, this is the first time you've used APlia, what you'll want to do then is to click the create a new account button and enter your course key when you're prompted, the same course key that I just highlighted a moment ago, and then continue to follow the on-screen instructions. The purchase access to your course, including the digital textbook, directly from Cengage Brain. If, however, you are not prepared to use a credit card, you don't have to. You can purchase it at the bookstore in cash or by using your financial aid or scholarship money. You simply purchase the access to APlia from the bookstore. So just check with the bookstore about this. It's available at the campus bookstore at Central College. Now, after paying, you'll have the option to purchase a physical textbook at a discounted price. But quite honestly, that isn't necessary, and most of my students do not purchase the physical textbook because there's already a digital textbook provided, which is written using flash paper. If you choose to pay later, for example, if you're not ready to pay right at the moment that you're being asked to pay, you have until May 17th. So that's a 4-day grace period. Now, I will warn you right now, if you do not pay by May 17th, you're locked out, right? There's no making excuses about this, and I've hear it all the time. Every semester there's always a handful of students that say, well, I'm just not prepared to pay. If you weren't prepared to buy a book, there's no reason to sign up for a course unless you're willing to pay for everything that's necessary to make the course work. So they're generous enough to give you that 4-day grace period. Use it if you need it, but don't abuse it by trying to go over it or go beyond it and pretend that you don't have to pay for it. So this is digital content. The author is being robbed of his rightful royalties if you're not paying. Now, I want to call your attention to the student sign-on page, which is the dashboard after you have logged on. I'm going to go ahead and pretend that we're not actually there just yet. So I'll go ahead and type in the same credentials that we were being asked to type in before, which is login.cengagebrain.com. And this will bring us to the login page. And since if you've already created a new account, you can log in directly. If you need to create a new account, you just go over here on the right hand side and click create an account. So we'll do it both ways. If it's create an account, you'll actually have to enter your access code or course key. That's the same course key that I was telling you about a moment before. All right? Now, once you go through that, it's going to ask you for a bunch of information, your name, so the school you go to, and a bunch of other things. And the whole registration process takes no more than about 5 minutes. Now, once you're ready and you want to log in, you provide your username, which is the email that you used to provide. Do not attempt to register more than one email. If you do, you'll be blocked in access for both of them. So that's something you really want to avoid. If you're having troubles registering, give me a call at 832-257-2592 or send me an email. I'll be happy to help you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and type in my password and log in. It's the same way that you would log in. It's just taking just a little bit of a while for it to load, but it'll be here shortly. And there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and search for the course that's that you're registered for, which is a APlia Econ 2301 Spring Mini Term 2012. Make sure that your CRM matches this one, 85236. Go ahead and click on that. And once you click on that, you'll be brought to the APlia course, which is loading just now. Now I'm going to click on the student view so that you can see precisely what it is that you'll be seeing for the first time when you log in. Don't panic when you see all this, but you have to remember this is a 3-week course, which means you're essentially taking 16 weeks and cramming them into 3 weeks. Students who come for face-to-face instruction at an HEC campus typically come from 8 a.m. until noon, Monday through Friday. That's 4 hours of instruction. And they typically cover a chapter or a chapter and a half per day. And if you just kind of take a look at what's going on here, it's the same thing. Now, in the beginning, these are pretty easy assignments. Introduction to using APlia, just want to make sure that you know how to use APlia. The math and graphing assessment with tutorials, simply designed to assess your knowledge of graphs, slope, area, units, all that good jazz. And then an introductory to using APlia assignments, which is a second assignment that's tied to that. And then math and graphs assessment with tutorials. You're only going to see one instance of this. This is just showing up twice because I made copies of those assignments, but it'll look a little different when you open it up on your end. Chapter 1, what economics is all about. So you have the actual chapter reading and then the actual assignment itself. And notice that they say not started. And then the schedule kind of moves in lockstep. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5. Day by day until Thursday you have an exam. Notice nothing else is due on that day. And then Friday you start again with more chapter assignments. Chapter 6, Chapter 7. I even have them on the weekend. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't want to work on the weekend, you can simply work ahead. All of these assignments are open the entire semester. However, they have specific due dates. So when I say they're open the whole semester, I mean you can start them whenever you wish, but you must finish them by the due dates that you see to the left. And you have to pay attention to those due dates. I get a lot of students who always say, oh, I missed the assignment, I didn't know when it was due. And the only thing I have to say about that is you didn't read, because there's the due dates and they're pretty clearly marked. All right? And then you move along, and then you have exam 2 on a Monday. Notice those are timed. That's another thing you really have to be careful to watch out for, is the ones that are timed. Only exams are timed, right? And then exam 3, that Friday. And if I click on view all assignments, I'll be able to see everything for the entire term, which will include beyond that third week, towards the end of that third week, including the final exam. Notice that you'll see some second attempts. I allow students to take second attempts on exams, all midterm exams except for the final. The final, you only get one shot at it. Part of the reason is I want to make this a learning experience. An exam does not have to be punitive. However, I do take the average of both results. You are not required to take second attempts. They're there merely as a privilege, and they are optional. But if you take the first one, you get a 70, and you get an 80 on the next, your average will be a 75. The average of those two. If you take a 70 on the first one, you get a 60 on the next, your average is a 65. So you really have to think thoroughly and carefully about whether or not you need to make a second attempt. Now, these will be scheduled in a different place. I just wanted to put them at the bottom. They'll actually be scheduled just a few days after you've taken the first one. And that's to give you time to really kind of look over your results of your first attempt to see where you went wrong. All right, but you'll be presented with a different set of questions. All right, I kind of wanted to keep this introductory video short, somewhere in the 10-minute period, so I'm not going to cover that much more, other than to say I want to introduce you to the textbook. There'll be more videos to come, so not to worry. But when you click on view the table of contents, you'll actually be directed to the TOC, and you can select on the chapter that you wish to view in your ebook, and then it will bring you to a separate page. We can go ahead and click on a particular page, and in this instance we're being brought straight to a video. I highly recommend that you view these. I'm going to go ahead and click on this right now and let it play so that the author's voice can play through, so I won't be talking during the video. It'll take a moment for it to load.
One of the topics that economists often discuss is markets. And today we're going to talk about a market. So let's start with a definition of a market as any place.
This is really good stuff. I mean, he's drawing on the PowerPoint slides. He's explaining problems. It's also subtitled so that if you didn't understand him, the words are right there, printed clearly right on the slides. This is the author of the textbook, so it's a powerful thing because he's going to use terminology that he actually uses in the textbook that he wrote. So I recommend that you use that. If you go through the rest of the textbook, you'll see a normal textbook, complete with key terms, and even when you get on a term like this, you can click on it, and there's hypertext there that explains the definition of that particular term. Keep on moving through, and it just looks like a regular textbook. They try to keep the amount of text limited so it doesn't look like a full page that you would see in a textbook. However, I'm only showing part of it here on the screen right now just to make it easier on you. And then when you're done, you simply exit out of that, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to the previous screen here to where we were before, and go back to the main table of contents. In any event, that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoy the course, that you enjoy the way that it's set up. There's a lot more features that I'll be talking about after the course gets underway, but I think this is enough to really get you going. So I highly recommend that you get started immediately. That means right on the first day. A lot of students are shocked that there's assignments right away, but if you don't do that, there's just no way that you're really going to be able to succeed in the course unless you start working on problems right away. And I will tell you the time commitment for the course is about 6 to 8 hours a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but remember there's already 4 hours in the classroom, and the HCC actually recommends that you prepare 2 hours outside of the classroom for every hour you spend in the classroom. Now, if you really did that, that would be 12 hours a day, but I don't think that's necessary. But I do think about 6 hours is necessary. 4 for the instruction you would have been receiving in the classroom. Even though you're not receiving it here, you are listening to and watching videos which are embedded in the text, and that of course requires more time than just reading a traditional textbook that doesn't have video. In any event, I'm going to stop there, and I wish you the very best, and as always, if you have any questions, you can call me on my cell phone at 832-257-2592, or you can send me an email. Take care and best wishes.